I was on my way to a park, like a city park by the Legion, the Preston Legion, and I was with my sister, Stephanie, my friend Caitlin, and I think her friend Brianna at the time. We were all on our bikes, obviously wearing helmets, and this guy decided he was going to go 80 kilometers an hour around a turn, I believe, and we had already looked to go across the road, and he decided to kind of just speed along as we were crossing. So he was coming down Laurel, and then he decided he was going to hit the back end of my bicycle, and I flew 30 feet towards a fence. I was first sent to Cambridge Memorial by ambulance, and they came, I think it was probably about 20 minutes after the actual initial accident happened, and then I was transported to Cambridge, and then it was airlifted to McMaster, completely still unconscious. They had to keep me under because they didn't want me to move, nothing. It was too dangerous at that point. So first it was a C1, C2 spinal injury where a piece of the bone, so here's your neck, piece of the bone decided to just kind of like break off and then just continuously kind of go like this. But then it just kind of stayed there and it wasn't moving, which was a very big fear. It's not supposed to be away from each other. And then there was also 3 major brain injuries that I had received afterwards, all over the frontal lobe of my brain. So I had a really big one here on the front of my brain, and then another one kind of farther back here, and then something to do with kind of just more on the top of my head. And lots of bruising and cuts, but mostly just head injuries and a broken neck. So almost 3 weeks roughly in the hospital. But after, I think it was 2 weeks, I actually started healing on my own. In the beginning, it was a lot of physical therapy and having to learn how to do everything kind of again. I had to walk again, talk again, learn basically everything from scratch. After being out of the hospital and learning those basic things, then I had to learn more mobility and having to be able to move my body properly and just balance. After that, actually, we did a lot more on the mental side, and so it was a lot more of like hardcore therapy and just kind of explaining how my nights were and explaining if I was having terrors or anything like that, like night terrors. Waking up kind of in cold sweats or just screaming and freaking out because this red truck was gonna hit me, and I couldn't get over it for a while, but I eventually did. Well, when I first got back into school, I wasn't technically allowed to be bumped into at all. Like, I basically had to have almost like a bubble around me. Nobody could touch me because I could just potentially break it again. If I banged into someone too hard or something, it wouldn't have ended well. So then we ended up just keeping it as if I had kind of a bubble. And so I had to do tutoring after school. So that was kind of one thing that I really had to adjust to, was doing it after school, not during, while everybody else was at school, all my friends, especially being so young when I didn't understand why I wasn't allowed with my friends. Honestly, I'd probably want to swear my heart out and tell them that I just hate them because they've ruined my life and I can't even get past this, but at the same time, I would almost thank them because it saved a lot of things. Like, I wouldn't be in Cambridge, I would be in a totally different place. It destroyed and kind of fixed my life in a way, and it just kind of made it whole, like, I guess. But definitely I would scream at him first. I'd tell them it's not worth it, because if they're really willing to risk their lives and whoever's in the car with them or whoever could be just around them, they need to take a second and just think, do I really want to risk that many people out on the road, or do I just stay where I am and just hang out until you're sober? Don't do it. It's not worth it. You could lose everything, or you could lose nothing, but most of the time people lose everything, and it's not worth it, really.